Hey everybody, welcome back here. We're going to be talking about the Steam Deck for a little bit. In my impressions, I think that this is an interesting device. I think the Asus Ally, the ROG Ally is also an interesting device, though much more powerful, and probably if you have the money, you should buy that. Because mainly the compatibility is, I think, a big issue that not a lot of people do. It's like every Steam game on Steam Deck probably, like most games on Steam, will probably run on this, no problem. But there are going to be some games like Destiny and Lost Ark, which are very popular games on Steam, that will just not run on this. There are extremely popular games that just you cannot run them on this because of anti-cheat. There's also just I feel like we're going to hit a point in the next few years of like, hey, this thing is like 3 years old and new games are just not hitting that hard, like, Starfield. It's a good experience, but I have everything turned down and I'm getting like, it's fine in space and when you're by yourself, but when you get into a firefight or once you get into like a major city, it's just like, this is not a good experience. Like if you want to, just do a little bit of exploring, no problem. That being said, No Man's Sky has been a really good game on the Steam Deck. I feel like it's a small game that allows, you can pick up and go, it's like, hey, there's a community mission going on. I want to, I just got this idea for this new base or something. So it's a really fun game for kind of the Steam Deck. I played kind of my Steam Deck kind of casually more than anything else, and I feel like spending a large hours on a Steam Deck, just like playing a game. I feel like it's just like maybe you shouldn't. Like, if you're in bed, sure, but do you want to be in bed playing Apex Legends, or do you want to be in bed, playing, some high Battlefield or something? I'm just throwing out some names. I don't even think Battlefield is verified. Like Counter-Strike. You gonna play Counter-Strike on this? It's playable, but should you play it? Nope. So the big thing towards this is that, hey, old games actually run pretty good on here, and then, emulation also is pretty good on this. And I think that's something you should really think about when you're buying one of this. Because, if you're looking at some old games, Batman Arkham Asylum is probably... I haven't actually played this on the Steam Deck. I don't even remember playing this ever playing this, but somehow I have 4 hours. Tetris Effect, awesome game on this. Like a really fun, like, hey, just plug in your earbuds or plug in some headphones or something, and then just, lay in bed. Some real casual games. Bejeweled 3 and, Puzzle Quest are also another game, but if you notice something, that there is two different things here. If you see it, did you see it? But yeah, I think emulation is pretty good on here. I'm not like heavy into like playing a lot of emulated games. It's more of like, hey, let me set this up. Can this does? What's the experience like? And then I'm kind of not gonna play. Like I got that all set up, bunch of stuff on here, and it's just like, yeah, it works. Anything before the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, you're probably gonna be a good time. Wii U, it's a little bit, pushing the edge. Some people said that like you can Switch games run better on this than on Steam Deck, but then that's like a full blown. If you're buying this to play Switch games, like you have a issue or something. That's a little bit weird. You're better off buying a Nintendo Switch Lite. Like besides Pokemon being visually shitty, you're still gonna have a fine time. But yeah, I think the compatibility is the big thing of like, hey, a lot of the older games are going to be great on this, and some of the newer games going forward, probably not a great time. Baldur's Gate was one of the biggest launches on this game, and though it is on Steam, though it is verified, I had a bad experience. I would not play this game on a Steam Deck. Of course, it might have changed since then, but the game literally crashed on me multiple times. I'm like, this is not fun. So... also, I have completed the game. I am not one of those freaks that just keep on replaying it. Like, I'll probably come back to this later on and try a different playthrough, but it takes... I need to digest the game, then come back. And so kind of the big thing that I've seen... Big thing to counterpoint is, hey, does a game have controller support? Some games, let's see, like what is it, Counter-Strike Go? It's playable, but you really do not want to play this on a Steam Deck. It does have Steam controllers icons, and then it also functions in the default controller aspect. The main thing is, hey, in-game text is maybe small or hard to read. That is not really a big issue. It is really just like, hey, the game's default configuration works with the Steam Deck, which is a 1280 by 800. It's a 7-inch screen, so some of the text might be work, but also like controller support is a big thing. And of course, Counter-Strike Go does have controller support. You would never want to play this on controller support because when you're on a controller, you kind of want to have that assist. That's the big, huge debate between console and PC, especially in Fortnite and Apex, these big cross-play games of like, hey, you have an advantage on a controller, but you also have like, the input latency that like, what is it? On average, it's like 100 millisecond difference between a controller and there's like 100 millisecond latency with a controller because this is wireless. That's a lot of latency, and sometimes even 200, depending on the frame rate too. And that's just not just Xbox. That's what's all on PlayStation too. And of course, you can plug them in, but it's just it's weird. It's you wouldn't want to play that on that. So I feel like if a game has good controller support and you play the game on a controller really well, that is kind of the thing. Because if you look through here, to some extent too, I've played some games that I think it was like Puzzle Quest on the old PC version. It does have controller support, but it's like a shitty controller support, and it just doesn't look good too. It looks like really blurry, like it just like it's a pixel type of like doesn't line up. So yeah, like, of course, Dirt 3 is not going to be verified at any point, but you could probably play it on this game because that's the thing is that most games are probably going to run on this, especially older games, because of the power of the Proton, the compatibility layer of all that stuff. And realistically is like, hey, this game does have controller support. You're going to have a good time. So that's why I have this like collection of like, hey, these are controller games, and not a collection of like, hey, these are good on Steam. Like here, let's look at what is it? Civ 6. It's playable. Let's see what do they say? In-game launcher, blah blah blah. Like this game shows Steam Deck icons, which it doesn't because there is no controller support in this game. So that's just a lie. There's just no controller support. So what is Steam inputs? Like what is Steam Deck inputs? Those are the A, B, X, Y. Those are the only buttons, and then kind of this like hamburger button and then this window button. I do find it funny that if you look closely, they are literally the same buttons as the Xbox controller. I do find it funny. Let's see right there. Yeah. But it's just like being playable and being verified are kind of two different things. Let's see, like Doom, like, this has controller support. Yeah, I think so. No, it doesn't have control. Wait, it doesn't. That's weird. I thought it did. Oh, wait. Which Doom 3 am I playing? Am I playing Doom 3, or Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil? Let's see here. Does this have controller support? No, it doesn't. It does have cloud save. That's another weird thing about... here's partial controller support. Yeah. Dude, this is games 1.5 gigs, and this is 7 gigs. Man, that's wild. And then here's Doom Eternal at 88, and then here's Doom at 68. Here's Doom 434. Jesus. But yeah, I feel like the big thing is that, hey, if it does have controller support, like Pathfinder has been pretty good at that too. Let's see. Bethesda games would probably be really good here. Let's see here. Where is... Oh, there we are. Nope. There we go. Like, let's see here. Like, none of these they're playable, but you're gonna have a good time. Like, why can't I? What is holding this back? Okay, entering small text fields. Like, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Difficulty. like it just some function is not accessible when using the default controller configuration, requiring the use of a touchscreen or virtual keyboard or community configuration. Like, I have done no community stuff and it works fine, and I've played a lot of hours on the Steam Deck. This game's launcher setup tool by required. Like, it just some function is not accessible. This game shows Steam Deck icons. Like, I don't understand what is some of this shit. Like, partial controller support is also, like, it's very weird. I've seen games that are full controller support have worse controller support than games that say they're partial controller support. Yeah, it's so weird. So again, I think that the story is, hey, if you play a lot of older games or are looking to play a lot of casual or older games, like, here's Bit Trip Runner 2. This is a fun little fun little game that I played for 60 minutes and then realized that this is an endless runner, and it was fun. And this game, is great, would be great on this game. And if you're looking for, like, emulation's also pretty good. Like, Brothers on here, let's see here. Valve is still working on, like, some of this stuff is like, oh, we're working on it. It's like, no, you're not. You're not working on it. But you will probably have a good time with this game because it's full support. Let's see here. Yeah, but yeah, I think the Steam Deck is cool. I do have a lot of problems with it, but a lot of problems I just like, it's still a good device. I think the desktop experience is also really shitty. A lot of people complain about the ROG Allies desktop experience with Windows 11, but also, hey, the Steam Deck is also pretty shitty. You can always launch, the Asus ROG Ally into Steam Deck or into Steam Big Picture mode right off the rip. It does have its armor crate, but it's something that is exactly like this. This is what Big Picture is now. And a lot of people are pissed that this is Big Picture because this is like, and I'm going to ramble. Like, if you could buy this, I think it's a good product. I don't know what they will do next with it, but that's it for the real video. Now we're in ramble mode. I'm not a fan of Valve. I think Valve is a shitty company. I think that what they do is kind of insidious in a way. We can talk about the Steam machines and the Steam controller and the Steam Link, and a lot of people are like, well, it wasn't this, you get this, but you don't know if they're going to iterate on this, or are they going to expand on this, or are they going to be like, oh, we're done, and then never make another one again. That's the thing. But one of the big things early on in Steam's like, hey, we're going to fucking change the landscape was, hey, Big Picture mode, which was like, hey, people want to plug their PC into their TV because the computer is going to be infinitely more powerful than a console at any given point because you could put new parts, whatever, easily upgradable, and just plug it in and then get like real true K 40, 60, 120 if you put in a 4090 and all that stuff and have that. But this is what Big Picture looks like. You would not want to look at this on a 70-inch screen. It's just bad. So like it's weird. Also, this is Steam OS was a thing too. This is Steam OS 3.0. You cannot download the latest version of Steam OS if you want to run like, hey, I really enjoy this Steam stuff and I think it's cool and I think what they're doing is good. I want to download this because it is Linux and then run it on a small computer. Like, that's not a thing. Where you have the computer just like instantly boot into Steam. Of course, you can just install any flavor of Linux you want and then install Steam and then go into the extra, steps of like, hey, launch Steam when it launches and then launch into Steam Big Picture mode. So it's just, I'm always fascinated by Steam. And of course, I'm the simp that bought this and I play this regularly and I haven't touched my Switch since I got this because the Switch is just... it is really nice being able to play some of the older games. It got me back into No Man's Sky. I finally came around and, finished Skyrim. Here's the anniversary edition, and finished that and played a lot of different some of the add-on packs too. I do plan on kind of going back to Fallout 3 and some of these older ones, and playing some older games that I haven't, or playing like, hey, SnowRunners is really fun game, especially if you just like, okay, I'm just gonna transport a few things around. Rift Breakers. This is not a verified game, but this is actually a fine game on here. Like, it's a fun game, and I really enjoyed my time playing this game. Vampire Survivors is another like really good game that, like, hey, this is a fun game, just a nice casual game you could burn like easily 10 to 20 minutes just playing around and fucking around. And then of course I have everything. This game is like so stupid. I just, like, how many hours do I have? I have 7 hours in this game. That's fucking wild. But anyways, guys, if you're still watching, see you on the next one. Bye.